Whether you're new to playing worship style piano, or perhaps you're a music teacher thinking, I'd really love to help my students understand this style better, then this video is for you. So in this video, I would like to actually give you some tools to create your own arrangement of Jesus Paid It All. And this is a great old traditional hymn, but I've kind of recreated it in a new style, like you may have heard Kristian Stanfill play it, and something that would suit a worship team, band at church, or we can dive into adding a bit of melody, your own, if you want to create your own arrangement. So today we will have some tips of how to create an introduction. I have a little bit of it notated, and the rest will be learning from chord charts. I'll also give a shout out to Raluca Bajor. She has a great course called Piano Brains, and I can link her details. And she had a free lead sheet that I printed out ages ago, and we're using it today in the key of C major. And I've added just a couple little detours. So let's get started. Okay, in today's piano tutorial, we are going to talk about rhythm and how that will be helpful to you as you create your own arrangement of Jesus Paid It All. We'll also be talking about the melody and ways that knowing the key and what scale you're using in an arrangement will help you find the melody. The third thing we'll talk about is what triads are going to be in your piano toolbox to create this arrangement. And the fourth is that I have a special little introduction for you inspired by Kristian Stanfill. And I actually wrote that out so I could show you some little tricks with that as well. So the first thing you do when you see a chord arrangement is you see all these like letters on a page, like C/G, G, C, A minor, and you're thinking, well, how am I going to turn that into something that I can sing along with, or a friend can sing along with, or that I could join a band? So today's tutorial will hopefully help with that. So one of the first things that I like to do is think about the rhythm, because without rhythm, if you get things too complicated, it's going to be too hard to join in with other people playing or singing. So the first thing for Jesus Paid It All is it's actually in the time signature of 3/4. And if you listen to some arrangements this week, you can kind of feel this rocking sense where we hear, I hear the Savior say 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3. So you're going to want to just start thinking about, where do I feel the chords changing, and how does it feel in my body to move to that, and how will that impact when I change triads or when I change the chords. The next thing we'll be thinking about is the melody. I've chosen the key of C major because it's a bit more comfortable for my voice, and I hope it will help for your voice as well. And if you've played a C major scale or you're teaching scales, this is where improvising gets exciting, because the notes that you're looking for are actually hidden in the C major scale. So if you were trying to pick out the notes of Jesus Paid It All and you didn't have the melody in front of you, that's going to give you a great tip of how to get started. So next up, I'll actually play the melody for you. And if you want to stop and familiarize yourself with the melody, this is a great chance to do that. So I'll do it phrase by phrase, because when you're looking at the melody, it's also neat to look at the hidden triads in this one. So the first phrase goes like this. So you hear, I hear the Savior say. And we just noticed that we spotted a C major triad, a detour to A, and then back down. So we go jumping up and stepping down. And you're going to see that so many times in this one. I used this fingering, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, because it made more sense than having to jump the pinky finger to keep it nice and smooth. So we have, I hear the Savior say. Now, in your left hand, when you're looking at chords, you can play like the full chord or triad. Sorry, I sometimes use them interchangeably. A triad is technically the 3 notes. But sometimes I also reduce it to just a fifth. So if you're not comfortable playing a C major triad, or your hand is like a claw, that means you might not be ready for triads. So then you can use the outer edges using whatever the note it says on the page. If it says C, it means the C triad, C major triad, and you're going to use the first note and the 5th note. So then we could try this. I hear the Savior say. And that will give you a way to keep your wrist and arm relaxed while you explore this. The other thing is, you don't have to play the melody for this type of arrangement because you'll probably be singing along or somebody else will be. But it's really good to have the melody in your ear or trying to sing it so you get the timing sounding right. The next phrase, thy strength indeed is small. So we have everything in the melody is using these 3 notes. Thy strength indeed is small. Then we're going to have the harmony in this other one. Thy strength, a G major. Thy strength indeed is small, up to C major. Then we're going to use these melody notes we've already explored. Child of weakness, watch and pray. But this time I love the spicier feeling of A minor in the left hand, and that's a musician choice. You could use C major, but I'm going to use A minor. Child of weakness, watch and pray. So that's kind of neat to try that. Find in me thine all in all. Now in this one, in this lead sheet, and I actually, a shout out to Reluca Beaujour, she had given this lead sheet away a couple years ago, and she is a fabulous worship and hymn writer and pianist, and this came from her. So she uses me with the C major triad with a G in the bass, and that's like that C/G. I'll put that up on the screen. Me thine all in all. So again we have C/G, me thine all, G major, C major. In the next section we finally get to the chorus. So again, that's a lot of material. You might want to pause the video, but then I hope you'll listen to the end. Even if you listen straight through, take notes, and then revisit it. So then the next part we have Jesus paid it all. And if you know triads, this gets exciting too, because you know C major in root position. This is kind of like this first position triad, starting on your 2 finger on Jesus, and it goes, Jesus paid it all, and it kind of outlines that triad. And then we have all to him I owe. So we'll try that part again. All to him I owe. Back to C major. Sin had left a crimson stain. So for that one we had C major with sin had left a F major. And I love this one, uses that spicy diminished 7th chord that I said, or diminished chord, F sharp, A, and C. He washed it white as snow. And your fingers have felt that C/G chord, washed it white as snow. So those are some of the tools that you're going to use to be creating your own arrangement, because you don't have to have all the melody in there. You can have just the triad changes and you can sing along, or you can start to add a bit of both. You can also leave out some melody notes. So I'm guilty of 2 and 3 and 1, 2. that in that case, you're using hints of the melody and playing the gentle chord progression. And that's a really fun thing to do as you're trying to maybe give the congregation or a singer a vocal hint, or yourself, but you're not taking over as a soloist. So next up, we are going to take a look at this Kristian Stanfill introduction. And I'll play it for you first, and then hope that it gives you some ideas. So at its basic, you can play this. And if you go and listen to the Kristian Stanfill video, or if that's familiar to you, you'll hear it and you'll be like, oh, that's so familiar. So with that one, we'd be playing in the bass, the left hand, that little bass line, and we can harmonize it in the right hand by playing C major to F major to D minor to F major, da da da, C major and F and D minor F. Then later, I definitely get carried away with this because I might use those same chords, the same notes, but I might flip them into my right hand as a flip, so it might become. So you can see that I might use it and transform it in different ways. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures before you come in with the pickup beat. And you can see here that if you feel that F, that's where you'll have a 2 counts. And then this is where the melody will come in 8th notes. And you'll hear that I hear da da da. It comes in right at the end of the fill. So I'll show you that right now, so that if you're a more advanced pianist and you're like, oh, I want to try this and do my own introduction, this is how it might fit together. So we have. You can also use it in between the chorus and before the next verse. So this song has 4 different verses. I'll link the lyrics for you and some other resources for you, and I hope you'll give this a try. I know that's a lot to take in when you're creating your own arrangement, but I hope you'll be thinking of what's the rhythm of the piece, what's the melody, and what are the triads that I'll be using in this piece, and then using that to create your own arrangement. So thank you for listening today, and I hope that you'll follow along if you'd love more tutorials like this. Thank you for listening.